have this being connected with some slokas which we are actually talking about. These are all very important because it has been divided. The entire chapter is divided in this section: transcendental qualities and demonic qualities. Transcendental and divine is the same. So then, and demonic qualities comes in 1 to 6 slokas. Demonic nature very clearly from 7 to 20. Actually, Krishna explains demonic nature more stronger because 99.99% of the people, I'll come to that very interesting one. In Satyyoga, I will touch upon that actually, because in Satyyoga there is a separate trait, Dwaparaga separate trait, Kali Yuga separate trait, and Treta Yuga separate trait. So we need to understand how it goes. So demonic natures on this area, the choice of how we can escape to the Supreme Lord's destination with all these kind of qualities which is jumbled up inside and outside of us, and how we can go out. That is something which we'll touch upon now. Okay, so Krishna says there are 26 demonic qualities, but 26 divine qualities. Just like how someone says that, if you have to smile, how many muscles get activated? And if you have, I don't know whether you know this. There is a, do you know about it? If you smile, right, how many muscles get activated? If you frown or if you become angry, how many muscles get activated? Can anyone give the answer? Maybe Sola can give.
No,
She's a
Prabhu, yeah, I've heard about this. So like it's better to smile than
than to frown or to be angry.
Yeah.
So I heard it, but I'm not sure whether I can validate that. When you smile, actually you just need only 14 muscles or something. But if you become frown, or if you angry, or if you're showing your anger nature, right, there are 72 muscles which will push you away and going away from you. So you can imagine the kind of impact or impediment it is bringing into your system. It's like you're shaking your entire body or system. So that is why it is nice and sweet to smile. So when some devotees, some friends, some of the people who ask us some questions, it gives a very happy feeling that we share it with them. So that is why it is here. If you can see, there's so many of the divine qualities are so much, and the demonic qualities are very less in its nature. But the 6 are very terrible in its nature. But the way in which it is presented, it is not so easy to practice. So we need to be very careful about it, that we make these mistakes. These are the qualities of divinity, like someone who is fearless, purification of one's existence, because we are chanting constantly. We are also trying to connect with Srimad Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam. We are being with the devotees. We are practicing as much as we can, right? Cultivation of spiritual knowledge, charity. Charity also should be given in the mode of goodness, not in the mode of passion and ignorance, self-control, performance of sacrifices. The best of all sacrifices in this age is Sankirtana Yagna, means chanting the holy name of the Lord. You don't need to worry about any other kind of sacrifice like the fire sacrifices, which is not practically possible or feasible, because there are qualifications to be someone who is conducting it. We may not have that in place because the Brahmanas are not self-controlled nowadays, or at least in this kind of Kali Yuga state. They are Brahmanas, but they have only frailties of views and thoughts. So then you have to start enabling yourself in the study of the Vedas. Of all the study of the Vedas, Bhagavad Gita is the topmost. Vedesha sarver aham eva vedyaha. So then austerity, you also need to take some austerity. Just like today is an Ekadashi. It is an austerity. What is austerity? Austerity is containing yourself to take voluntary difficulties to accept the Supreme Lord and his blessings. Like, it is not easy for us. There are more don'ts than do's during Ekadashi, because Ekadashi is a day called Hari Vasara, means the day of Lord Hari, the remembrance of Lord Hari. The more you think about it, the more you are going to actually be connected with the Lord. So the idea is to chant, idea is to read, idea is to hear, and idea is to practice devotion service. Idea is also to be focused about what exactly you wanted to do during this period of time. On this particular day, which comes every 15 days, is very auspicious. The more devotional practice you do, the greater you will be connected with the Supreme Lord. So austerity is very necessary because otherwise there is no way by which we get the level of purification which you wanted to become in a faster pace. Then simplicity, as I said, simple living, high thinking. It's very, very natural, very important. Srila Prabhupada gave this one. Simplicity is very important. We don't need to go beyond the call of requires. What it requires is what we need to actually do. Like we don't stretch our legs beyond our bedstead. We don't do that. It's not good. It is only going to bring you more troubles in different values. And then there is non-violence, which is naturally, you can ask this question. We are talking about non-violence as a divine quality, but Arjuna is being asked by Krishna that become violent. He is not asking him to say non-violence. We will touch upon this. Please remind me how Krishna is actually inspiring and instigating him. He is giving these divine qualities, but he is saying non-violence is a divine quality, but he is instigating Arjuna to become violent. He is also asking him to become angry. Only then he can become non-violent. Otherwise, it's not possible. But here, qualities are beautifully mentioned. Divine quality has non-violence in it, truthfulness in it, like how Yudhishthira Maharaj was truthful. Renunciation is very important. Tranquility, very, very serene. You don't have to get disturbed by situations coming here and there. You're equipoised in the situations and in this kind of scenarios. And then freedom from anger, aversion to fault finding. This is natural for all of us. We all want to be a critic, but you don't want to take the ownership of it, right? This is natural. We always try to find a fault, even though there are 100 good things, but we look for that 99.99999% point 0.001% of a fault. So this is what we look at. So this is pretty unfortunate, but the divine quality people, they don't have this. They don't find fault. They look at the bees, not the houseflies. Then compassionate feeling to the other living entities. It's very, very important. This is one of the most important points on the divine quality area, because compassionate is the feeling which you generate from your heart. It doesn't come from mind or anywhere else. You should feel the happiness to love others. You should feel that happiness. You will get that happiness when you start loving others, when you share something, and that's where it is. And finally, this freedom from covetousness. So these are the qualities, and as you can see, we continued more and more. Gentleness, modesty, steady determination. This is what with Drida Bhakti, Tivrana Bhakti. So then vigor, forgiveness, fortitude, cleanliness, freedom from envy. This is most biggest hurdle, impediment in our spiritual practice, to become envious about even other devotees. We should never be. So we need to be careful about it. And then freedom from passion for honor. Like I am the boss, I need to be Man Pratishta Shukr Kabisht. Actually, it is said, Bhakti Siddhanta Prabhupada used to say this, and Man or Pratishta means something like an honor or something like you feeling that it's great. I am the boss, I am the one, I need power, I need position, I need this fame. All these things is as good as eating the stool of a pig. This is what Bhakti Siddhanta Prabhupada says. So you can see practically all these are very important subject matters. But demonic qualities, it's naturally here all in the system. Pride, arrogance, conceit, anger, harshness, ignorance. So this is a very important subject matter. So what we will do is, we will do here a small exercise. I hope you all look into this. First step towards it is cure. Prevention is better than cure. So we are going to do a diagnosis. Check in what all aspect do I have these tendencies, and how with Krishna's help we will be able to uproot them, right? Naturally, I'm not going to be a judgment or a judge here, or I'm not going to be judgmental and support. I'm pretty neutral. I'm not interested to identify whether you've got good qualities more or bad qualities more, or divine qualities or the demonic qualities. Every one of us should possess both. Why? Because in Satyuga, the demons or the people with demonic qualities were in a different planet altogether. And the good qualities, the divine quality people were in a different planet in Satyuga. So in the Treta Yuga, that shrinked. They were in different countries, not planets. They were in the same planet, but different countries, right? Like Sri Ramachandra was in India, and Ravana was in Sri Lanka. So it is something very close to different countries, but same planet. But in Dwapara Yuga, that started becoming inside your own family. See how the shrinkage is happening from different planets, different countries to the same household, right? Goodness and bad, both are there in the same household. Some are good, some are bad. But in Kali Yuga, where is it? In ourselves. Ah, that's all. It's all inside our own self. See how the shrinkage has happened from there to there to there. And now it's all inside us. Good, sometimes good qualities evolve, sometimes bad qualities evolve. Someone is trying to say, hey, you're a good man. The next moment he shows a bad quality, then you can say, hey, you become the bad man. Why? Because the same tongue is talking both ways, right? It's just a sheet of flesh, right? So obviously it is going to talk who it wants to. It's been dictated by the qualities which acquire based on the surroundings, the environment. So obviously then we are actually in kind of a fix. How to throw out this demonic nature in our system, how to inculcate beautiful qualities, very transcendental qualities in our system. Then automatically everyone will appreciate, everyone will like it, because you are actually a well-wisher. Surdam sarva bhutanam gyatva mam shanti richati. You are actually looking at some kind of a goodwill personality ambassador to every single living entity in this world. So then everyone will say, hey, they are Hare Krishna, they are nice guys, but actually they are not just because of that. Sometime later they may say, oh, the Hare Krishna, they are too much, they make a lot of noise. The same person is going to talk that, but he's going to reverse engineering and talk also, right? But the point is, we are equally poised. We are not bothered about it. Krishna is our supreme Lord. We are servants of the Lord. But we appreciate, respect every living entity in this world. So now what I wanted is a small exercise. Please take few minutes, go back to your paper and pen, and then you write down what are the most 3 great divine qualities you have, and what are the 3 most demonic qualities you have. Can we have this small exercise? And then we will take a collective, maybe the top 5 demonic qualities which is coming out from all of us. Can we start now, if it's okay with you? There is qualities 3.
Yeah.
Qualities 3 in divine, qualities 3 in demonic. Is that okay? Yes.
Can you share the screen, please, Prabhu?
Yes, I'm sharing my screen in a minute.
Okay, thank you.
Yes. Can you see my screen? Is there anything else I can help you with?
No,
You want to know the qualities, or you want to know this?
Qualities.
Yes. How much in number? You take the Bhagavad Gita, you have this. Everything is explained there.
Yes, Prabhu.
This is very nice qualities. We all have to catch up. So there are nice qualities of divinity, transcendental, fearless, purification, cultivation, charity, self-control, performance, austerity, simplicity, studying Vedas, truthfulness, renunciation, serenity, compassion to the other living entities, gentle feelings, modesty, always ready to accept others as our boss and ready to serve them, steady determination, focused, cleanliness, which is next to godliness. Look at this. These are so tough nut demonic natures: pride, arrogance, conceit, anger, harshness, very ignorant, thinks he can walk over anyone.
Prabhu, can you go back?
Yes, going back.
Thank you.
Still going back. And in this place. I'll be back in 1 minute, but in the meantime, you can look at this.
I feel like I don't even have half of them. Never mind.
I'm struggling. I'm struggling for 3.
Yeah, exactly. Same from I'm
I mean,
struggling.
for the bad qualities, the good was very easy.
Yeah, bad ones are like, I'm just like, exactly what they are.
All of the above.
Yeah, oh God. This is funny.
I think sometimes we are our own harsh critic, and we don't see the virtues that other people see. That's what I'm learning.
Yeah, we should ask other people.
Yeah, we see the bad in ourselves, but that's not what others see. That's what I've
Yeah,
learned.
but it's because we're chanting and we're engaged in devotional service. We're becoming aware of the dirt that's in our heart. It's been sitting there for millennia, but we're only now becoming conscious of it.
Yeah, that's it.
It's
That's
part
correct.
of the process.
I think we probably have more good qualities than we think, but I mean, as I said, and like Vishal said, we see things negatively. Out of all the good, we'll concentrate on the bad. Do you agree or disagree?
Depends, doesn't it? Depends what day of the week.
Okay. So I hope you have all done your exercise. Excellent. Okay. So where do we start from and whom do we start it from? Can anyone help us?
I'm happy to go.
Yes, Prabhu.
Okay, so three divine qualities and 3 demoniac. Yeah.
Okay.
So I put charity, fearlessness, and compassion for other living entities.
Right.
Okay, and for the 3 demoniac, I could have picked any really, but I picked anger, arrogance, and pride.
Okay. Anyone else?
Penny's got her hand up. I don't know if she wants to comment, give a purple on that.
Let's get what she's saying. I can't see you, Penny. You'll have to remove your screen. What do you call the virtual screen?
Background.
I remove it.
She's being Arjuna, Prabhu. She's channeling her
She
inner
really is.
Arjuna.
She looks better now. Yes, please tell me. What's the story?
Qualities, pride, anger, and harshness.
Okay. So is it all you have it? I don't think so. You have any of this. Be very honest about it. Do you have all these qualities? Are you sure? Shall we write down? After 1 year, I'm going to ask you the same question. Is that okay? Okay. Yes. Tell me that.
Good qualities, fearless, cultivation of spiritual knowledge, compassion for living entities.
Cultivation of spiritual knowledge and
Compassion for all
yes.
living entities.
Very good. Okay. Yes. Okay. What about the demonic qualities? What do you have?
Pride, anger, harshness.
Very good. Pride, anger, and harshness. Okay.
Pushpa Mataji's got her hand up.
Yes, please, Mataji.
So my list are the divine qualities of charity, truthfulness, cleanliness, and the demoniac qualities are maybe everything.
Okay. This cleanliness doesn't mean that you become a OCD. That's not cleanliness. You know OCD, what do you call OCD, right?
OCD,
Yes,
yes.
So not that. I'm not talking about that quality. Some people have the cleanliness attitude. I want to keep my kitchen super clean. Means what? Nothing will be seen on the floor. Everything will be inside. Not that quality. The quality of cleanliness means our heart is clean. We have a clean slate. That's what it means. So yeah, okay. So I just wanted to let everyone know about that. Okay, so that's good. Okay, so anybody else?
Yes, Prabhu, can I say?
Please.
First, cultivation of spiritual knowledge.
Sure.
And charity. Third, forgiveness.
Forgiveness.
Then
Okay.
next one, pride,
Okay.
anger,
Okay.
and harshness.
Okay. Good. Okay. We'll take more. Anyone
Can I
else?
say my one?
Oh yes.
Sanjay after Jez Prabhu.
Who? Sanjay. Okay.
Jez Prabhu, then Sanjay.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
Yeah, Prabhu, I marked self-control, fearlessness, and forgiveness.
Self-control, fairness, and forgiveness. Okay, good.
And on the other side, I marked ignorance, anger, and pride.
Ignorance, anger, and pride. Yes. Okay, very nice. Okay, who else? The next one?
Jez Prabhu, I think was next. Thank you, Sanjay.
I can be very compassionate. I can
Okay.
be understanding and empathic, and I can be very humble.
Okay, humble.
My bad, I can be lusty. I can be envious, and I can be quite lethargic sometimes. I don't know if that's a demonic quality. But
Yeah, definitely. It's not a divine quality for sure. So obviously, it should be lethargic. Is Dominic, definitely. Okay, one last. Anyone else?
Me, I want to go.
Oh, yes.
Yes. For me, simplicity, compassion for other living, and forgiveness. And the other one is pride, anger, ignorance.
Okay, excellent. So we have actually come across many of these qualities getting repeated in all of us. Especially what I could notice is the divine qualities which many of us have is charitable nature, fearless, compassionate to others, cultivating the spiritual knowledge, truthful, being cleanliness, honestly, being very humble in your outlook. Forgiveness is something else, and then self-control and simplicity. But whereas in demonic nature, many of have mentioned very much anger, arrogant, pride, harshness, ignorance, lusty, envy, and lethargy. All these are coming out because of our conditioning to the society and the association we are having with the different natures. So Krishna is in the heart of everyone. But you can imagine the divine qualities are being repeatedly said again and again by many of us, even though we are all separate individual living entities. But whereas the demonic natures in us is all pretty much common, right? Why is it common? So obviously it's very common is because these are the natures we have actually acquired from the situations or from the surroundings in which we are being brought in. So this is something we need to control or manage it. So that is why it's very important. Shastra has explained here that these qualities are not something which is inherent to you. Every time you come into this different the living entity comes to a different body, it has this set of activities which is constantly present with you. That is, you are learning this based on the environment you have been put on. So then again, you have some things which are there in that. So that is why we are being all the time being in the process of getting purified. But we don't even know that we are getting purified. But as you progress, you can practically see that the amount or the level at which these qualities, right? Probably I was very angry, maybe around 10 years back or 15 years back. 15 years back. Now,
Sorry, Prabhu, can you zoom in? We can't really see it. The other one.
Zoom what?
We can't see that. Yeah.
I don't know how to.
If you.
I put it in a notepad, I'll put it in a word pad.
Sorry, I just wanted to tell. Yes, that better. Yes, Prabhu.
Yeah, that's better. Thanks, bro.
These are the divine qualities. I've just typed in. It's all there in the system, so it's not that it's not there. So it's there. So these are the activities which have been doing it again and again. Every time when we come to a different living entity, we are all the same living entities, but every time we take another body, we are going through this progress of any of this. Charity, we are giving donations every time. We are also being, charity doesn't just being only giving donations. Charity also is something like you are ready to share, is something like a good quality that I have something, but I'm happy that I share it with others. So that is the thought. Fearlessness, normally, yes, we are actually very fearful. You can't be fearless so easily. Even though you have mentioned this word called fearless, it is very, very difficult to possess that good quality of fearlessness. Fearlessness is like Arjuna. Fearlessness like what Lord Rama had this. But we can't get that fearlessness. We are always feared. Why? Because we are scared that we may lose something. Because of that, we don't want to become, we are very feared. Oh my God, what will happen if one of my possession goes off? So that is why we are actually, the word fearlessness is not that, oh, I'm bold, I'm here. So no, then if I'm very strong or bold and strong, that doesn't mean that you become fearless. It's not a quality that is easy to acquire. It is after a prolonged process. Fearlessness comes moment you realize that Krishna is the protector for me. Krishna is there in my heart, and he is the one who is guiding me at every step and every way and every path I am taking. On that progress, Krishna is going to be like Narada Muni. Narada Muni was fearless. We'll actually read in Srimad Bhagavatam first canto that when Narada Muni started moving across the rivers, across the mountains, across the lakes, across beautiful parks and forest area, thick, dense forest, he always felt Krishna is there to protect me and I'm happy. I'm completely self-controlled. That is fearlessness. So there are many of these qualities. You can actually deep dive into what Prabhupada mentions about all this. So is that it is acquired based on the situation in which we are put in, and we have to learn it every time. It's a new learning for us. So but there is a process of purification in this. Okay, so we go a little further. What does Krishna says about all this? These transcendental qualities, thank you for being a part of this small exercise. It's great that we also know at this point of time what are the qualities we have more in strong length, where we need some kind of a clearance to that, because we need to work on our weakness and build up on our strengths. Okay, Krishna says in the Gita here 16:5, transcendent qualities are conducive to liberation, whereas the demonic qualities make us to be bonded. Don't worry about these things. Krishna is trying to say to Arjuna that for you, you're born with these divine qualities by default, because he is a very rare personality. Not everyone is like him. So then here, those who are demonic do not know what is to be done, what is not to be done. Neither cleanliness nor proper behavior nor truth is found in them. Because you see that their only thought is to make sure that the other person suffers badly and wants to push them to the limits. These are demonic qualities. It's natural in us, and we can practically see it in us, and we can practically see in the space which we actually share with other living entities. We may think that, okay, you are the person. We can actually see here, okay, let's see. This is a very important point. We need to understand it, right? These qualities are like that, that if a person is demonic in nature and he's sharing a space with another living entity, it can be inside the own house. Sometimes we find it so difficult to deal things like this. Why? Because we have that nature popping up. It is showcasing us immediately. So as devotees, if you have to remove these bad qualities and bring the good qualities in your system, you need to learn the art of being very equipoised. You should not allow any situation to flare up. So how does this come? It comes one by practice. Second one is by acquiring these kind of qualities with the devotees who have that. So they need to understand it. Like for example, there is a saying, right? Two hands need to get to a sound, or to clap, you need two hands like this. So if one hand is nearby, another hand comes closer, you should not come it closer. You should keep it away. Then automatically these kind of qualities will not impact us. Hence to that, our consciousness to be in the activity form where it is divine in its nature. You should never allow it to come to the demonic nature. So if you have that envious quality, you should immediately contemplate and then go back and reflect, oh Krishna, why am I getting this envious nature? It can be probably because of the food you consumed with someone who has prepared it, and that person had this, because consciousness flows from higher concentration to lower concentration. If your consciousness is low, then it's going to impact you. So you're going to get that envious nature. If you're feeling very lusty, then automatically you know that, oh Krishna, there is something wrong somewhere, because it's a gateway to hell, right? Krishna is going to talk about this in a few minutes. And then what is it that it's going to happen? So we need to be conscious about it. There is something wrong somewhere. Why am I getting so much a very lusty feeling? Not necessary. Acquiring more than what I need. I want to enjoy this world more than what I need. So that kind of qualities are one which are actually impacting us. So then we need to go back and understand and reflect and retrospect ourselves and introspect ourselves and see that, can I change that into a divine quality? Yes, I can. How? Dedicate myself more and more in service of Krishna and practice myself. It is not that theory we are talking about. It's a practical devotional service. Krishna wants that. Prabhupada wants that. Prabhupada is giving us that ideas. Lord Chaitanya is dedicating us into that kind of a framework. So we can learn it out. We can do all these things. It's not something that you sit in your house and then you read this and go back after 18 days and you're done with it. I have nothing to do with it and I have none of practice at all. Then you go back to your own story. No, that's not the way it goes. The way it goes is that you practice every moment of your life for the rest of your life. And that's where you are actually catching up with all these negative qualities to throw it out of your system and bring in the divine qualities into your system. The more you pump in divine qualities, the greater aspect or greater option for you is to grow stronger in your spiritual realm. So that's where the power of this spiritual practice is concerned. Okay, I'm going here. So there is much more to read there, and we are here. Okay, so then the demonic person thinks, what? So much wealth do I have today, and I will gain more and more by some other schemes. So much is mine now, it will be increasing in future and more and more. He is my enemy, I have to kill him. If not, he will be enjoying my money. My other enemies also should be killed. I am the lord of everything. I am the enjoyer, I am the perfect person, powerful and happy. I am the richest man in the world, surrounded by aristocratic relatives. There is no one so powerful and happy as I am. I am the happy man in the day. So I shall perform sacrifices. I shall give something in charity for atonement, and thus I shall rejoice. In this way, such people are deluded by ignorance. You can practically see all these people. They have done all kinds of nonsense to make sure that they are in the power position, right? Ravana actually wanted to do everything for himself. He wanted to build a staircase to the heaven in the same body. He did a lot of effort. He almost did it, but he couldn't survive because he was not fit enough to do that. But he had a massive anger system in his anger in his system. It could not come out in the right way, so he could not relinquish himself, and that's where he is. That's why he's portrayed as a very demonic person. And again, same as Duryodhana, so many good advices were given, but he never wanted it. He wanted always to take up all bad association, bad thoughts, envious feelings, and lusty thoughts. And this is what has impacted him. And not just because of him, it's because of an entire race. Entire Kuru race was almost like perished completely. So Krishna explains in the 16th chapter, they fall down to hell. How do they fall down? They're caught in the illusions, strongly attached, bound by material desires, various anxieties, strong attachment to sense enjoyment, caught in the network of illusion. By these things, they are caught. They don't have a choice to come out of this world. And again, perpetually they have been stuck in this world. So Krishna explains this. Those who are envious and mischievous, who are the lowest among the men, I perpetually cast them into the ocean of material existence, into various demonic species of life. Attaining repeated birth amongst these species of demonic life, O son of Kunti, such person can never approach me. Gradually, they sink down to the most abominable type of existence. You can see practically these probably may be some kind of aborigines in some Amazon River area, or Amazon forest, or some other place, or kind of animals they are in. They are not so soft and sweet animals like a cow or probably something like that, but still it's a very demonic thought, so they don't have a choice. And because they have acquired those kind of qualities again and again based on the consciousness, so they are stuck in this kind of a situation. So where is this? There is no other choice for them. There is only way by which they can come out of this is by some causes grace by a spiritual master or some pure devotee or someone chanting the holy name for their benefit. And that's the only way by which they can progress in that. Otherwise, they are perpetually stuck in this world. So Krishna says, there are three gates which is going to lead the person to hell, right? First is anger, first is lust, second is anger, third is greed. Every sane man should give up these at any cost, for they lead to the degradation of the soul. There is no other choice, no other choice, no other choice. These are the three gates defined by the Supreme Lord himself. The gates are directly opening us to hell. And what is hell? Hell is not some place where you are going to you see that there is something burning and you're going to be put on some kind of a. Of course, there is a place like that. If you go to Garuda Purana, and they explain all these things, and it is very strategically mentioned all this, that you will be roasted in oil and done with heavy metals on you and many things, because it's a consciousness impediment. So what is here hell means is you've been constantly going to go away from the supreme absolute truth. And that is what is these three gates: lust, anger, and greed. So we should definitely come out of these. Okay, there you go. So the next one, wow, how can one person escape from this? The only way by which he can escape is man who has escaped these three gates of hell is by performing acts very conducive for self-realization, and thus gradually attain the supreme destination by practicing Krishna conscious activities, by practicing devotion service, by chanting the holy name again and again, again and again. There is a massive purification which will happen. So then these three gates are not for us. It just escapes. We can escape because every prisoner is not bad. It's because of the circumstances he's been put in that kind of situation for reformation. But eventually, when he starts getting that understanding, the knowledge, and the practice, he becomes slowly perforated. He will become more clearer with the other surroundings. So he removes the surroundings, so he comes closer and clears himself. And then he gets a escape sentence. And he says, you don't have to worry, you are out of this prison house. So in the same way, Krishna is giving us a beautiful option that if you start acting very conducively for connecting to spiritual life, spiritual self-realization, Anya Abhilashita Shunyam Jnana Karmadi Anavritam Anukulena Krishna Anushilanam Bhaktiruttamam. When you practice those activities which are most favorable for you, without any deviation, without any some kind of impediment to your practice, or not following the negative path and methods, you will actually attain the supreme abode. That's very, very important. Yes, Shastra Vidhim Utsrijya. This is again very important. He who discards scriptural injunctions and act according to own whims and wills attains neither perfection nor happiness nor the supreme destination. Right? This is very, very important. We read in the Bhagavatam, this is very clear. Shruti Smriti Puranadi Pancharatra Vidhimbina Aikantika Harir Bhakti Uktaye Kalpate. You don't take everything without understanding and you take it on your own. And you do all kinds of whimsical thought. We do get a lot of bad qualities, all this mentioned here: illicit sex, gambling, meat eating, intoxications, and enjoying promiscuity. All these are natural in this place because we have been put in a wrong place. Now we can practically see that how difficult this is to overcome any of these vices. It's all there in our system. We keep thinking about it. Bad qualities, bad thoughts keep coming to us, but that's okay. Let it come. Let it go. Let it come out of your system. Okay, Krishna has made me to purify. I'm ready for purification. Let these kind of thoughts come. Let it come. Because Prabhupada explains, like, we are all here. It's naturally, if you have, I don't know how many of you have seen a fan here, because we don't use much fan here. But if you have a ceiling fan, many places in India, you do have the ceiling fan. So the ceiling fan is connected and the switch is on. So the fan is super fast. It's going in circle motion. After some time, if I switch off and it comes to a halt, but it doesn't come to a halt immediately. It comes to a halt after some time. So till it gets to the inertia. So in the same way, all these qualities are there in our system. Some way or the other, it has gone inside. We don't know how it has gone in. Sometimes we are very feeling of illicit, sometimes gambling thoughts, sometimes intoxication thoughts, sometimes meat eating thoughts, sometimes more enjoying propensity, more than what is required. All these thoughts have gone into our system. Now we need to take it out. But how do we take it out? Not by discarding scriptural injunctions. But what do we know? We need to do according to the scriptures and practice it with very, very closely knit thoughts. Then automatically you will attain the supreme perfection, supreme happiness, and we will connect to the Supreme Lord's abode. So that is why one should therefore understand that what is the duty, what is not the duty, but the regulations of the scriptures. Knowing such rules and regulations, one should act so that he may be gradually elevated. We can't become saints overnight, nor we are expecting everyone to be. But you need to learn the art of understanding the rules and regulations of the scriptures by which we can practice this and slowly become step by step, step by step. We have discussed this many times, then that's how you get elevated. That's important. One's greatness has to be estimated by one's ability to tolerate these provoking situations. This is natural for all of us. Srila Prabhupada very beautifully has coined there. He has coined it very, very neat and sweet, because its greatness is not by what you have acquired or what you are the person now at this moment of time, but it is the ability of the person to hold on, to understand the situation very clearly. Even if it's a provoking situations, you hold it on. You hold the fort. Moment you hold the fort, automatically your greatness comes into picture. In every field you have this. See here, the holy name of Krishna can deliver the most sinful of all sinners. Is exemplified by the pastime of Jagai and Madai. Holy name can remove the demonic qualities from our heart fully. Jagai and Madai, they are born in a Brahminical family. They are very, very, very pure people. But somehow or the other, all these wonderful bad qualities are gone into their system. And only by the grace of Lord Nityananda and Lord Chaitanya, that these people who are Brahmins by birth, practicing all these things, have gone to a toss. They are the people who have done every single sin what you can think of, every single offense what you can contemplate of. They have been doing only that all through their life, because they acquired all these bad qualities. Somehow or the other it has gone into their system. But now, by chanting the holy name of the Lord, these demonic qualities can just get evaporated, even without our extra effort, or we don't need to do something extra. It's all there in the system. All we need to chant is Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare. Every moment and every moment, as much as you want. You can chant on the beats, you can chant on the clicker, you can chant while you're walking, you can chant while you're running, getting your health in place. If you want to chant when you're in gym, if you want to chant when you're reading, you're studying, you're working, anything and everything. Satata kinta intamam. Always remember, iti shodashakanam kali kalmashanashanam nato parataropaya sarva vedeshu durshati. There is no other way by which we can actually come to that level, that the holy name has given us so much beautiful options that we will simply be in a position to overcome all these kind of inabilities. So holy name is the only route for us to get back to the spiritual realm, even though we may have all these wonderfully bad demonic qualities in our system. So it is not wrong to have a demonic quality in us. Don't feel low, don't feel repentive that, oh my God, I have so much of bad taste. When we have all these things, it's not that I'm Mr. Perfect and you are all not. No, it's not that way. Every one of us in this box are sailing on the same boat. Maybe someone is in the ground floor, someone is in the first floor or third floor or fifth floor, but we are in the same floor of same boat, different decks based on our practices. Not that we don't get these kind of good qualities and bad qualities. It's naturally going to be there in the system, but we need to learn the art of throwing it out. The moment you learn the art of throwing it out, then the entire thing becomes very smooth and sweet. You will love it, because automatically it will go out, it will go out. You will practically notice that that quality has gone out of your system. Just like if you have a disease, right? You have disease means you are sick. You are unease. That is what dis-ease means. You are not at ease. So you are lying down. You are feeling so low. You have been given a medicine. You're taking first day, no effect. Second day, no effect. Third day, no effect. Fourth day, some effect. Fifth day, much better, good effect. Sixth day, you're feeling much better. You are able to sit and strongly yourself. Little later, you become normal. So then, will you be repenting and calling yourself, okay, no, I was like this on the first day, no, I'm better like this? No, we don't bother. You just let go. Then you become stronger. And that is how the process of Krishna consciousness is. We have started the process. We have very time-tested, practiced, perfectionist, and there are many perfectionists who have done this, and they are in that system. So you are very, very, we are all very, very fortunate to have that in this place. And we just take it from her and then simply accept it, follow Krishna's messages through Bhagavad Gita, through the Arjuna's personal example, and then we take up all these bad qualities will just fly off. It will just get evaporated even without knowing. Prabhupada gives only one example. He says, sun or rain doesn't discriminate between good place and dirt. It just clears and transforms the place. Just by the sun, the heat, the transformation occurs automatically. Just by the rain, it purifies the place without even any effort. Naturally, it gets cleared. So it takes some time, but it's a sure shot. So that's what Krishna wants to convey to us through this wonderful chapter of divine and demonic nature. So we stop here. Any questions, reflections? If you want to add more, most welcome. We are there.
What was the analogy about the rain? Did you say?
Sorry?
What was the analogy about the rain? Did you say?
Rain doesn't discriminate. You see, rain is there, right? Right? Rain pours in the sea, in the mountains, in the land, in the city, in the village, anywhere, everywhere. But there might be some kind of a dirt also, right? It can be some dog stool or a pig stool or any other stool, but that also gets washed away. There is no differentiation. So in the same way, the holy name doesn't differentiate between this sin and that sin. Holy name clears the system. Naturally it clears. And it's not going to take much time. It's just a matter of time. So chanting the holy name is the only solace and only connection for us to get purified. That's what it is. That's the analogy. That's what Prabhupada gives. He also gives the same example with sun. Sun doesn't discriminate between dark place or wants to give in an open area. He is ready to give shelter to anyone who asks the shelter of sun. So automatically they will get purified in some sense. So that is why there are 4 purificatory elements: sun, wind, rain, and one more item.
Fire.
Fire, correct. Yeah. All these are purificatory elements. It cleanses, it purifies. Okay, let's go to the questions.
We got Pushpa Mataji has got a hand up. Before that, Umika Mataji asked a question before. Penny's got one as well, so Penny can go after Pushpa Mataji. Umika's written a couple of questions in the chat. Hare Krishna Vishal Prabhu, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Prabhu, those persons who are demoniac and live in the hellish planets, how do they uplift themselves and upgrade their situation if they are always surrounded by hellish bad things and bad circumstances?
Very difficult. They can't come out of that kind of hellish situation unless until a pure devotee or someone who is very God-centric, somehow or the other, by the costless mercy of the inspiration from the Supreme Lord himself, goes to those areas and purify them. It's highly impossible. The demonics will always be in this demonic. That's why Krishna has put them. Because you chose to be away from the Lord. You are acquiring qualities based on the environment. So only some costless mercy. That's why they are called Paradukha Dukis. They are more forwarding. They are more caring about others than themselves. That is why we seek the shelter of the spiritual masters. That's why we seek the shelter of the devotees. They take unlimited risk into their own life. Like they go out of way, they go and ask them, they beg at their feet, please leave all these things. Take up this Krishna consciousness. Please start reading Bhagavad Gita. Please start chanting the holy name. They go out of the way to give them prasadam, say, just simply eat this. This is a purificatory medicine for you. There is no other panacea. There is no other medicine for this. The entire world is in a topsy-turvy situation. It's so hellish. It's so demonic. The demonic is not outside. It's all inside our own system. We are getting these kind of bad qualities. How? Because of many exposures. The exposures is many-fold. It can be social media, it can be computer, it can be YouTube, you name it. People, newspapers, anything. You tell me which newspaper has a good news, first of all. When you open the news, the first headline will be 200 people died in a landslide, 300 people died in a war in Syria, and the 400 people are in the process of taking vaccination and they are in a troubled situation. What is the news in the morning? Is this what we need? Instead, Tadvag Visargo Janataga Viplavo Yasmin Pratishloke Abhadavtepi Namani Yasya Ananti Krishna Shunvanti Gayanti Grananti Sadavaha. You accept Bhagavatam available. Just simply sit and read. Now automatically you will get that beautiful qualities. That demonic qualities will just escape and vanish in thin air. And you are not just helping yourself, you are helping other living entities who are also there in the system. Right? This is how we need to develop our lives. And then for those people who are in that kind of hellish conditions, it's next to impossible for them to escape. The only thing what we can attempt to do it is if we can read 2nd chapter, 8th chapter and 12th chapter of Bhagavad Gita and pray to the Lord to enable them to become more and more conscious. From our side, we dedicate, oh Lord, please enable us that we give something what I can do at this point of time. I am happy that you have given me the shelter. but I want all these demonic people also to take your shelter. So on their behalf, I am the mouthpiece at this point of time. By your enablement, let me chant the 8th chapter. Read the 8th chapter, translation only.
Hey, Shri Krishna.
And,
Which ones, Prabhu?
what?
Which chapters, Prabhu? Sorry.
2nd chapter, 8th chapter, 12th chapter.
2nd, 8, 12.
Okay.
Yes, Prabhu, thank you.
Yes, this is the only way out. There is no other way. Only a pure devotee or a spiritual master can give a causeless grace to them and for us. There is no other way. Okay, let's go to the next one.
Thank you again for a wonderful class, Prabhu. We've got another question. Pushpa Matthew's raised their hand.
Yes.
Pushpa Matthew, if you'd like to ask your question.
Prabhu, my question is, like envy and attachment work together, so you can separate them. So does that mean we need to be detached?
Slow. Let me
So-
understand your question.
My question is, envy and attachment works together. You can't separate them. So does that mean we need to be detached from that object to be free from envy?
Envy and attachment is never together. It doesn't work together. Where will it work together?
I just read in Srimad Bhagavatam that they are together. It's written
They
that
might be together. That doesn't mean that they are acting together. A question of enviousness means that you are against someone. Let us say I'm envious of you, right? What does it mean by being envious of you? That means you have got some good qualities which I'm not having it, right? So then obviously that means to say that I wanted to acquire that quality of yours, but I'm not able to get it. So that's where the problem is. So I'm envious of you that, oh, she has got this, I have not got this, I should have got it. It should be with me. Just like Prabhupada gives an example. Oh, this fellow has got a good car. Oh, I should get that car. I should get a better car than this guy's car. Like that. So that is enviousness. So the attachment is you don't get attached by that, but you actually get into the level of attachment to the level that enviousness is something which I wanted to let go and bring something good for myself. That I get attached. That is possessiveness. Enviousness is equal to possessiveness, not attachment. Please quote the particular verse and the slokam. You can send it to me. Let me have a look at what exactly it is. We should not read between lines. We should read, when you're reading Bhagavatam or Bhagavad Gita, first sloka, the current sloka, and the next sloka. There will be a link and linkage to all of this. So you need to understand all of this and then take into consideration the subject matter. Is that okay?
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah,
Prabhu.
it can't be attachment. It can probably be the one what I said. So it can't be. Envious will always. Envious is a very, very tough nut. It is not easy to crack. So that's one aspect which is very, very difficult. It's a mega impediment for us to go and fall at the lotus feet of the Lord. It's not possible to overcome. All other things, all the vices, lusty, feeling, all these things are bogus. You can immediately go and fall at the lotus feet of Krishna. No problem. Krishna will take us. But if you are envious, that's why we are here. We were envious that Krishna was there enjoying and you didn't want to enjoy with Krishna. That's envy. Because he had a quality which I don't have and he is enjoying much better than I am doing. So what will why will that be an attachment to it? You see what I mean? Please pass on the message to me. I will look into it and then respond back. Okay. Let's go to the next one, please.
Okay, we've got a couple of questions in the chat box, but before then, Penny's raised her hand. Penny, do you have a
Yes.
question for Michelle, Prabhu?
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
So my question is, if Krishna says that truthfulness is a good quality, why does Krishna tell you this to tell the lie?
There is a disturbance, Penny. There's a disturbance. I'm not able to read your question unless
I can ask the question on her behalf. I got it,
Yes,
Prabhu.
please. Thank you.
What Penny's asking is if truthfulness is a divine quality,
Yes.
why is Krishna asking Yudhishthira to lie in the battlefield of Kurukshetra about the death of Ashwatthama?
Yes. Top question. Well, the reason why is because Krishna is the Sutradhari. He is the one who decides the entire battlefield. He has already decided. So what does it mean? That Krishna has decided that this war has to go and you have to kill Drona in order to go to the next level of the warfare, right? So in order to go to the next level, there was no other way, because he is a very powerful warrior. He is a master of all the archeries. So how will you overcome? Only by trying to tell a small change in the pattern of play, right? Just like how when we are children, we don't like injections, right? So what does the doctor do? Doctor says, hey, I've got a lollipop for you. I will give you a lollipop. You take the lollipop. And as you take the lollipop and you keep sipping, you would have already put an injection to you, right? Then you will not know the injection. Oh my God, I had an injection. No, you no pain, nothing. You'll be given a nice sticker and then job done. In the same way, everything culminates in the pleasure of the Supreme Lord. When you are serving the Lord, that is the topmost. All other functions, all other equations, all other activities are simply falling at the feet of Krishna. So whatever Krishna decides is final. So he requested Yudhishthira not to tell a lie, but he requested Yudhishthira that there is an elephant which is by name called Ashwatthama. So Bhima has killed him. So you just tell it and little louder. That's all. He did not say anything else. All he wants to tell him is that you you are soft spoken, you become little bolder, but you tell it in near to the ears of Drona. So he said, Ashwatthama atha punjaraha, means Bhima has killed Ashwatthama, but that punjaraha he said softly. That's all it is. He's not asking him to tell a lie. He's only asking him to delineate his tone. The way in which he's presenting is smallly changed. That's all the difference. But end of the day, truth falls at the lotus feet of Krishna. So whatever Krishna decides, that's final. Is that okay?
Yes, thank you for Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Okay, Neil Peru's got his hand raised. Before we go to that, there's one other question. There's two questions in the chat box. The second one from Amika Machi. Amika Machi is asking, Prabhuji, please can you give some advice on how to quickly and easily forgive a situation or person? The lack of forgiving and letting go is a heavy feeling in the heart. What is the best way to develop forgiveness, please?
Oh, this is very practical and very effective. Very, very good question. How do we let go how do we learn the art of forgiveness? For me personally, how do I learn it? The learning is only by two steps. One is put yourself in that kind of the other person's shoes and consider a benefit of doubt. Okay, this could have happened to that person, and that's why it's kind of situation which has occurred to this person, and that's why he's reacting to this kind of person. So let me forgive. The second thing is, we understand that no relationship is permanent in this world, right? No relationship is permanent in this world. That means to say that every relationship is only due to some kind of a pre-arranged situation which has come into this particular place. So then don't react to that situation. Just simply go away from the situation. Learn the art of accepting that Krishna is the controller of the situation and take his shelter. And automatically learn the art of saying that, okay, I don't belong to this world. I belong to the lotus feet of Krishna. Somehow by the will of the providence, I have got and come and stuck in this situation. So I have a relationship with this person. So because of that relationship, I am unable to take a judicious call to overcome this kind of a forgiveness element. Let me just simply forgive him and then keep going. I need to move on in my life. I can't get stuck in single life and saying that I will be always having this very angered mood into my heart and then I'm not going to forgive. We are not going anywhere with that. The concept is that you need to move forward. That's what relationships is all about. And you need to move out. How will you move out? And you need to learn the art of just withdrawing that personality into your system away. And you can only do that when you bring Krishna in the center. Don't bring a third party in your life. Bring third party as Krishna. He is the only person. The third party for you is Krishna. In the center of your family, in center of your activities, in center of your relationship, Krishna has to be there. If Krishna is not there, that relationship is bogus. It's between you, husband, wife, girlfriend, boyfriend, anyone for that matter. That's the truth. This is theoretical, and practically how will you do it? I can do, as I said, only two ways. I do it this way. One, I learn the art of accepting that Krishna has put me in a situation. Let me just forgive, because that's not going to help me. I'll give you an example. One time, one spiritual master who was actually giving a class at around say 7 o'clock in the evening for an evening Bhagavad Gita class. There was a devotee who actually wanted to reach the class before at around 6 o'clock itself, so that he can understand, get ready, prepared, and then go and sit for the class. Somehow or the other, he was in India. I'm talking about example in India. So he was in an auto. Auto is a three-wheeler public transport. So the guy who was actually driving, he was driving it so slow. He was going like as if he was going, no energy, nothing. So then this devotee was sitting behind and saying, "Hey, go fast, go fast, go fast, go fast." Then that person was not responding at all. And this guy, devotee, started after some go fast, he forgot that he is a devotee. He started abusing him left, right, and center. He started shouting at him, "What are you driving this vehicle? Come out and sit in the back, man. I will drive the vehicle. You're not even going faster. Many cars are going ahead of you. Everyone is overtaking you. And I am supposed to be at 6 o'clock and we are at 5:55 and you are still here only. When will I reach? And my timetable will all go for a toss." So he was so abusive, right? Then somehow or the other, he reached at around 6:30 or 7 o'clock or something like that. After that, this devotee attended the class with a very bad mentality. He had such a cheap mentality in his brain that anything which the spiritual master was giving him, it was bouncing over a transmission, because he had this kind of an impact in the situation which he was not actually in control of, right? So now the point is that when he came after the class was over, that the spiritual master started asking questions. Can you anyone ask questions? So he asked this question: "I had this kind of situation occurred. So what should I do?" Spiritual master said, "Is this abuse what you did to that person changed his heart, or did it make him come faster to the place where you're supposed to be, or it is going to give any happiness to him? Even though you might have paid some 50 rupees or 100 rupees extra, whatever, but did that change that person?" Answer is no. Then why did you get into that kind of a thought of fight? What has impacted you? You could not hear the class properly and grasp the necessary information. So in the same way, learn the art. If you don't forgive, is it going to be a change in his heart? If not, go with it. Learn the art of forgiving it so that you also become a better person and move forward. Right? Okay, Prabhuji, next one. I hope this answers.
Okay, we've got a question in the chat box from Swati Mataji.
Yeah.
Swati Mataji says, "Hi Krishna Prabhu, you said that in Satya Yuga, demoniac people lived in different planets other than Earth.
Yeah.
Does it mean that when the creation starts again after dissolution, the demoniac people left on Earth start on different planets? Were we also in those planets and made our way to Earth gradually? Or is it possible that we were on Earth during Satya Yuga and still did not attain perfection?"
Okay, you need to understand the concept of how the entire creation happens. So moment the end of Kali Yuga, you would not be in this, you don't know what the creation is going to be. We all go into the Lord Brahma's body. The Lord Brahma goes into Lord Vishnu's body, right? This is called Pralaya, Mahapralaya. So after the Pralaya happens, that everything gets completely diminished and made zero, and the creation starts again. So at that time, whatever your consciousness at the point of your dormant situation is, so that will evolve automatically. Let's say you have these demonic qualities in your system. So all these demonic qualities will be there. So you will be sent to a separate planet for you. Does it answer you?
Sorry, so you said we will be sent to a separate planet.
If you have that consciousness, because you are now active, you need to go to a dormant state. That means inactive state. That means you will become inactive. You will go into Lord Brahma's body. Brahma will go into Lord Vishnu's body. And when Lord Vishnu decides to breathe out again, then all the pores of the body will create millions and billions and zillions of planets, right? So at that point of time, when that Brahma in which whose body you are in, right? When you come out of that body, then you will be actually practically noted based on that. Okay, your quality is this, you have this quality, you acquired, your consciousness is this, so you need to go to this particular area.
Okay.
That's how it is.
And like, do we have to do pious work on those planets to get to Earth?
That's the answer I did previously. Some costless mercy of some spiritual master or some pure devotee who comes and gives you the glimpse. Just like how Yudhishthira Maharaj, he saw some people shouting and crying and shouting and all that. Then he was on his way to Yamadharma's place. So So he said, who are these people? Oh, these are the living entities who are completely unpious. They are struggling because they made a lot of mistakes and they are stuck and they're going through. Then just by the walking of Yudhishthira Maharaj, because of the air, all these living entities felt very happy, purified, and very soft. And they were all got liberated just by the air touch of the spiritual personality, the one who's got so much of compassion to the other living entities. That's how that got. So like that, someone will come. Tirtha kurvanti tirthani. So the spiritual masters go to different places. They create that place of holy name, holy place. So they are the only people who can deliver us. We don't have any qualities. So let's not bother about the next yuga. Let us look at going back to this yuga, back to God. Okay.
Prabhu, yeah, thank you so much.
Hare Krishna.
Oh.
Yes, Prabhu.
Okay, I think we've got one last question from Neil Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhu.
Neil Prabhu's hand's raised. Neil Prabhu, if you'd like to unmute and ask your question, please.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
We've all sort of got these qualities within us, demoniac or divine, and obviously we get pulled and pushed around by our past conditioning. How come some people end up so almost like truly evil, like a Hitler or serial killers? They seem to have absolutely no divine qualities about them at all. How can anyone end up that evil?
How can they end up that evil?
Yeah, where they, kill millions of people, that sort of.
They are agencies of material energy. They are all agencies of material energy. Means to say that they are the people who are actually supposed to cultivate all bad qualities and showcase to the world and push them to limits.
Right.
So there are kind of people who are going to be there. It's not that everyone is going to be divine in nature. There's going to be equal balance in some way or the other. So these kind of people will definitely exist. But the people who have that kind of a quality are the people who have acquired those kind of qualities. It is not that. It can be many ways by which you can acquire that qualities. But suppose, say, for example, let's say that even in our own situation at this point of time, suppose someone has a very bad childhood, right? They are going to get that kind of, let's say that the child is abused many times, right? They're going to actually have that kind of envious feeling, kind of angered mood, kind of many of the arrogancy, many of these qualities they acquire. So when they grow up, they have to show that somewhere, or they need to push it out somewhere. How will they do that? So that is where they call the acquired qualities, what they have got in their childhoods, it's come and it's getting to the other way. It's getting thrown out. So these kind of people, like for example, Hitler, so who knows how his childhood was. Definitely that must be a very abusive or some kind of a, I've not done any research on him, but that's what it is. So it cannot be, unless until there is a reason, there can never be a situation of this sort. So, but definitely they are all agencies of the external energy. They have to have these kind of bad traits, which is actually impacting many people. And that's why they got perish into the wombs of mothers who are eternally like this demonic, and they will never see the daylight, and they will never see the chance to go back to Godhead. Impossible. That is what Krishna said in the Gita, right? Just a few minutes back, we read that. He said, I'm going to put you in that kind of a situation where you don't get a chance to come back to me. So Krishna is very clear about it. Yeah, that's where it is.
Thank you.
So it's also good that we don't have to read about these people, but we should look for reading about saintly people. That's how you acquire your qualities, like the 6 Goswamis of Vrindavan, the great spiritual masters like Bhugarbha Goswami or Loknath Goswami, or many beautiful saints. Narottam Das Thakur, his beautiful songs, and there are many, many wonderful, even during Srila Prabhupada's disciples and Srila Prabhupada's memoirs, wonderful people like Jayananda Prabhu, Vishnu Jana Maharaj. There is a beautiful book called Radha Damodar Sankirtan Bhati. So Radha Damodar Vilas. You can read that, how beautiful saintly qualities these people are acquired. And that just being in this movement for a few years, not for long years, they acquired the epitome of bhakti, which can be shown in the shortest span of time. You could probably see it in Jayananda Prabhu, because he started he's a very extremely brilliant engineer. but he just dedicated everything to Srila Prabhupada. In a few months and few years, he had so much of divine qualities that everyone started calling him as a pure devotee. He was a pure devotee. When he left his planet, he just gave the 35,000 pounds dollars he had to Srila Prabhupada to publish books. And he just said, I just want Prabhupada's, he was not there, he was in USA and Prabhupada was in India. Prabhupada cried profusely. He said, I lost my dear son. And he holded Prabhupada's tapes, which is chanting Prabhupada's Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So he was holding in his heart and he's saying that I'm going to just leave like this and leave the body. He was the first person to get up, last person to go to sleep. And he was chanting 32 rounds, thinking that 16 rounds multiplied 2 equals 16 rounds. He did not know that. These are the qualities he has acquired. So you can imagine, read this book, the Radha Damodar Vilas, written by Vyasaki Das. It's a beautiful book. I'll tell you, if you read it, you will not come to this world. You will be floating on air. You will simply float on air. You will not want to read about Adolf Hitler or Ottoman Bismarck or whoever you call Napoleon Bonaparte and all these people, scoundrels, to be honest. Shastra Prabhupada explains this word. The word scoundrel is used to people who are completely demonic. Prabhupada is the only one who used these 3 words: rascals, idiots, scoundrels. No other personality, no other spiritual master has ever used. They can't, because they're straight. That's an acharya, cuts directly inside. So we are talking about serious business people on spiritual realm. They have come here to just deliver us at the lotus feet of the Lord. So how much of conscious commitment they have, how much compassionate they are. So that's where it is. Spend some time reading all these divine, beautiful books, and you will love it. You will really see that. Most of the time we get carried away, we get enamored by this media situation and by this different situations which is occurring in our systems. We will get really carried away. Be very conscious, be very careful. Don't get carried away. Don't spend your time on all these things. It's honestly, it is a waste of time. It's a sheer waste of time. Be very careful. Our time is very precious. I just read that because we are equating ourselves. Prabhupada explains this. We are equating ourselves with dogs and cats. That is why we are not cared about our timelines. We need to be very careful. They don't need to know about the timelines. They are dog. After that, they are going to go into next body based on their the next set of evolution, because there is nothing called karma in their system. But for us, there is karma. So we need to be conscious about it. Don't get familiar about the system. Be conscious about being Krishna conscious. Be very, very sure that you can go back to Godhead. You can be a part of this system. You can be the one who is being chosen by the Supreme Lord, and just simply accept these words. So this is what Lord Chaitanya wants us, right? Okay, can we stop here?
Prabhu, that book, Radha Damodar Vilasa,
Yes.
it says like there's like volume 1 and 2.
1 and 2, yes.
Okay, so there are 2 books.
Yeah, volume 1, volume 2. Volume 1 talks about Jayananda Prabhu. Volume 2 talks about Vishnu Jana Maharaj.
Wow.
Thank you.
Yeah,
I would
it's
love to
very,
read
very,
that.
very old book. It's almost in 90s it got published. So you should spend time. It's beautiful book. 2 books. Maybe you can go to BLS and see whether it's available. BLS Library Services, and then you can order it from there.
Thank you.
BLS Library Services is in Belgium. Bhaktivedanta Library Services, it's in Radhadesh, Belgium. So they can probably give you.
Hare Krishna.
Yes, Prabhu.
Can you just talk a little bit about Jesus and Krishna? I mean, I keep getting into these debates about Krishna and Jesus being God. I mean,
Jesus is not God, Prabhu. Sorry, change
I
it.
know this is
He's
where
son of
I
God,
keep.
that's all.
That's why I keep getting tripped up because, my.
Even if you consider he has a quality of God, because the quality of God should be Yasya Bhakti Bhagavatam Kinchana. I said that, right? The qualities of God is always qualities of God. We are qualitatively one with God, but not quantitatively. Qualitatively, we are the same. We are the same Brahman. We are qualitatively the same with God. So we are also called gods, but small gods. But quantitatively, he is Vibhu, means you can't equate him. But we are Anus. We are very minuscule or infinitesimal. So Lord Jesus is
So
Lord
how
Jesus.
do we deal with people who believe Jesus is God?
Yeah, that's great. You should inspire them and say, yes, what you're thinking is correct, perfect. This is what we also think. We respect Lord Jesus. We consider him as the messenger of God. And we think him as he is not just an Amsha, not only Amsha. He is, yes, we are all Amshas also, but he is a Shaktyavesha Amsha, means someone who is empowered, who has been empowered, just like Srila Prabhupada, who has been empowered by the spiritual masters to deliver us. That is what it is. You got it? So there is no difference between someone who is thinking Lord Jesus is God. If they think that, ask them, keep it going strong, pray to God, take your rosary beads, sit in front of him and chant. That's all you need to tell him. You don't need to do anything else. But they won't do, they will come up with some other thoughts. Then you'll start talking and debating about the 10 commandments. You will waste your time. And then that's where the key factor is. We need to be very careful. We don't want to have a panga, means we don't want to have a fight out with them. We don't want to have any fights with anyone because we don't have time. We are really, really sorry to say that we don't have time. So let's be conscious. Let's not waste our time. Spend time to know yourself. Spend time to know your colleagues or relatives or friends, boyfriends, girlfriends, and family relationship. Build it nicely, sweetly. That's all it is. Okay, that is a beautiful chapter on 6th chapter, which talks about Jesus Christ. Kusum Mataji has got a beautiful book called Vedas, and Vedas talks about that. Very beautiful book. Thank you, Mataji. Thanks for informing. It's nice. About all Jesus, about you want to know about Lord Jesus, it's all there in this book. Okay. It's called book Veda.
Yes, Prabhu, yes. The book called Veda, and chapter number 6 talks about Krishna, Christos, Christ. So if you want to have a look at that, I can send you a link.
Very nice.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Haribol, Prabhu.
Yes. Okay. Is that all? Any other questions, Prabhuji? Or we are good?
We're
No,
good,
that's-
Prabhu. Thank you for a wonderful session again.
Okay. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai. Please be very conscious that you have 2 more sections to complete. That's chapter 17 and chapter 18. Please, please, please. I want you all to by heart the 10.8, 9, 10, and 11. I'm not going to ask you all. If anyone has done it, they are top class. I see Dev Prabhu lifting his hand. I want everyone to say lifting hand because this is your life. That 4 verses are your key to success. Every time you remember the verse, every time you remember the translation of the verse, you will feel connected to the Supreme Lord directly at his lotus feet. So please spend your time. Don't think that you're 18 days over and that's it. Pack off and I am going down south fishing. No, that business does not exist with us. No more south. If you go to south, you should go to Neil Prabhu's house, Southampton. That's all you will end up. Not more than that. So that's the only way which you can go. Not more
Can you
than
give me
that.
some warning first if you're all turning up at once, please?
Definitely, definitely.
Prabhu, what about the topics, additional topics that Pratap Maya Prabhu was writing? When we can discuss that?
That you ask Pratap Maya Prabhu. Not
Yeah, we'll
done with
we'll
this.
take that offline.
Yes,
Okay.
Hare Krishna. Okay, Srila
Hare
Thank
Prabhupada
you
ki
so
jai,
much.
Bhagavad
Jai.
Gita ki jai,
Jai.
Gaur Premanande, Hari Bol.
His
Haribol.
Grace Vishal Ganga Prabhu ki jai.
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 Haribol, Hare Krishna.
Thank you everyone for joining. See everyone tomorrow. Hare Krishna,
Hare
Haribol.
Krishna.